So yesterday, after I had a piece of my mouth violently extracted by not one, but two different dentists, I guess they're called oral surgeons, right? Credit where credit is due.
Yeah. If you could
I
call
felt some pain, and
somebody with a tire iron a surgeon.
Yeah, it was very mechanical. I mean, I guess I was ready for that. But
do we call them automotive surgeons nowadays?
Is that?
Do we call mechanics automotive surgeons? Because that's all. I mean, other than putting your body up on a hydraulic lift, that's all they're doing. But anyway, go ahead. You're saying?
Oh yes. So yesterday I had some pain, but I felt fine. Mm-hmm. Today I did not feel fine. Today it was like my body was like shutting down. Like, oh wait, you've been assaulted.
Really?
We need to rest.
Oh.
Yeah. Really exhausted. Just basically everything was kind of like kaput. But end of the day now, and I'm feeling a little better.
Good.
And you've been assaulted in a different way. How are you feeling?
I tell you, I got to get this off my chest.
You go ahead.
I'm a very forgiving person when it comes to works of art. I really am.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch anything. And you know me, I'm not really that judgmental. I mean, I'm judgmental, but I'll watch anything. And I understand that not everything is really worthy of being in the Prado Museum, but it's still fun. Like last night I watched Stargate Continuum, a truly worthless movie.
You really did.
Oh, truly worthless. I mean, utterly devoid of any
that was not good.
Of any redeeming social value. It was fun, it was a harmless way to spend an hour and a half. It really was. And I really give people the benefit of the doubt. These two films by Béla Tarr were pure horse shit. Really. And when I read them, people say he's one of the deepest filmmakers of time. I'm like, are you fucking insane? I mean, there's nothing in these films. There's nothing. They're incomprehensible. You think they're deep because they're in black and white and they play the same boring tune over and over, and they're really depressing and repetitive. So therefore, it's got to be deep.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all.
I mean, the Turin Horse was really one that knocked me on my rump.
First off the bat, can you guys find a wind sample that's longer than 20 seconds?
Oh wow, you noticed?
I just kept repeating. Right. It's like,
and
go ahead.
Yeah. No, and I noticed the fan. Right, obviously they didn't just pick windy days.
No, of course they have. They have to have fans.
Yeah. Well, wind is a big part of it, right? It's
all of it. It's like it's continuous throughout the entire movie. It's a consistent sound through the entire movie, and you can tell it's a sample that's being repeated, over and over and over again. I'm like, guys, if you're gonna play gnats, if you're gonna have birds in the background for like 2 hours and 43 minutes, get a 2 hour and 40. Splurge a little bit, like I mean,
are we allowed to notice that there is both heavy wind and like ambient nighttime bug sounds, or was it bird sounds?
I don't know.
Like you would have one or the other, right? But there was both.
I didn't
at night. There were like bugs chirping outside the window.
There was.
I'm partially brain, maybe I had like a brain tumor, but
no, I don't think a brain tumor. No.
Yeah, I know. I heard there was bugs outside, like cheep, cheep, cheep.
Really?
And whoosh, at the same time. No.
Yeah.
No,
but it's just like, and can we play, if you're going to, you're going to play the same song. Yeah. You're going to play the same tune.
Single riff. Like
the same.
Not very long, just.
It's a 90-second dirge. Yeah, it's like a 90 to 120 second dirge that's played over and over. And okay, I get the idea.
This is a beloved film. I'm just a Philistine, right? I'm an idiot because I'm not going to be swayed by the fact that so many people love this film.
I don't think so many people do. I think maybe a few very influential people do, or people on
My old buddy
websites.
A.O. Scott loved it. I mean,
The
but
fuck?
he did say it was, a thing of beauty, an absolute work of art.
No.
And you're relieved when it's over, but that's part of its beauty. Okay, Tony. All right, Tony. You and me, we got to talk.
Dude.
What is going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So we're dealing with the hardest one first, but wow, man.
Yeah, you watch Werckmeister and you think, man, this is a howling piece of shit. And then you watch Turin Horse, like, bring back Werckmeister. At least there was like a plot. Yeah. At least something was going on, like something was happening.
Yeah. I need to look something up.
Okay, look it up.
Because Werckmeister had 39 shots in it total, 2 hours and 45 minutes. I don't even know if I can find this out, but I'm looking up the number of shots in Turin Horse because in the first hour, I counted 9, maybe 10.
But
in an hour.
To give Béla his due, when we say it's only one shot, the camera's moving around a lot. He moves the camera around a lot.
No. And the shots and the cinematography are really beautiful. So just visually, however, I wouldn't count every shot. I mean, they're really long. So the actors had to do a lot of work for really long shots for movies, right? So 6 minutes of a continual shooting.
Yeah.
And it moves out the window and through the door and to the well and back.
Yeah, the cinematography didn't bother me. A lot of other things bothered me, but the fact that it's only like 18 shots or 3-4 shots, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that what the actual fuck is going on here? Why am I watching this film and what kind of message are you trying to get across? Now, I understand that Werckmeister is based on a book. So, okay, fine. Maybe the book sucks. Okay, and I get it. And maybe, as I mentioned to you before, maybe it's like really heavily coded and you really have to be plugged into that whole, Hungary under communist rule. But he made these movies long after that, I think. I don't think, these weren't made in like 19, whatever. But, I was thinking about Stravinsky's Rite of Spring.
Mm-hmm.
I love Stravinsky. And I love everything about the Rite of Spring. I love the story. I love Ballet Russe. I love Stravinsky. I love the whole performance, the history of the performance, and the history and where he's coming from, and how he used the instruments and what kind of picture he's trying to pick. There's only one thing I don't like about the Rite of Spring: the music. I just don't like it. It's like, I don't like the tune. And everybody's like, oh, it's this eruption of life. I said, no, it's not. Are we listening to the same piece of music? It just sounds like menace. That's all it sounds like to me. It sounds like anger and menace. And everybody's like, oh no, it's about the eruption of forces in spring and about the reaffirmation of life. I'm like, no, it's not. Really, are we like seeing different colors? When I say blue, do you... I have
to listen to the Rite of Spring again.
Don't. It's not worth it. It really isn't. No. The only cool thing to do, this is the one cool thing to do, coming from the guy who made us watch 2 Béla Tarr.
I want to point out, it was not my idea this time.
You are
and you went ahead and watched Stargate Continuum, maybe the worst of the Stargate movies. So
I tell you one thing,
are to be commended.
It felt really good. But really interesting thing to do is listen to Rite of Spring, not the entire thing. You only have to listen to like the first 9. You don't need to do the back. No, you can listen to like the first half or even like the first 15 minutes, and you'll get and either you dig it or you don't. And then listen to Petrushka, also by Stravinsky, that he was writing at exactly the same time. He wrote the 2 pieces practically simultaneously.
Interesting.
And the funny thing is, you can hear you can hear certain things that he's crossing back and forth between the two pieces. You can tell where his head is at, and you can tell it's at a certain point in both the pieces. Petrushka's a blast. I find Petrushka wonderful, funny. It's interesting. It's lively. It's a little lunch like all Stravinsky stuff, but it's really great. Rite of Spring is Rite of Spring is like the Turin Horse. It's just like, I find it completely alien and completely unyielding and unsympathetic, and there's no human heart in it at all. There's nothing soft or warm or friendly or funny or charming or witty. It's just foot to the floor angst. Petrushka is wonderful, and so that's a really interesting thing. It's like, this is the same. Not only is it the same guy, he's writing the two pieces at practically the same time. That I find really cool, and that's so. If you want to do that experiment, it's really fun. And Petrushka,
yeah, I would be interested in doing that.
And there's good.
I want to talk.
Go ahead.
No, but I do want to talk about the Turin Horse. I know it seems like it's a pointless topic. There are a couple of things I know about it. I've just learned there are 30 shots in the Turin Horse, so 9 less than Werckmeister Harmonies. And it is 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
Yep.
It's all in black and white. The barn, so it takes place, except for the opening shot, it takes place entirely at a cabin with a stable for one horse and for a horse-drawn taxi. The director built the cabin and the stable from scratch to look like that. He didn't find it. So all of the set was created on the spot.
Wow.
Specifically. So he had a very specific vision, and I keep trying to figure out what Tarr's vision is here. And it must tie in with Nietzsche. And Nietzsche basically seeing a horse being whipped in Turin and losing his mind, hugging the horse around the neck, and then going to live with his mother for the rest of his days. Now, I don't know what the details of Nietzsche's life were, but this obviously is significant because the movie starts with that story in print on the screen. The horse that we see and the cab driver are clearly not near Turin. So they can't have any relation to that story at all, unless you think maybe that they could. If this is meant to be like, after that happens, the world goes into an apocalyptic disaster because Nietzsche goes insane, then I can kind of understand what he's trying to do. But it's not made clear at all.
No.
Because there's only one time when the man, whips the horse, and he does not do so, horrendously. He's using the reins. He's not using a whip.
Right.
The horse decides the horse is not going to move. I'm not sure how you train a horse to do that. That was actually really interesting. So this horse was actually a really well-acted character. The actors were great, given what they had to do. I'm sure that wasn't fun.
I'm sure I hope they were well compensated.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's a father and his daughter living in a cabin.
Right.
With a horse in the stable that will not go. And
it's a post-apocalyptic. It's obvious.
It really is.
It's, there's Bible quotes and there's various signs that these are the end times.
Yeah.
These are the end times.
Yeah.
And that's
like a document of these two people as the world ends in a kind of, I don't know, like biblical way, I guess, or a mythological way.
Yeah.
It's not obvious. We hear there's one character who comes in, like in the middle of Waiting for Godot, one character comes in and talks a lot. The rest of it is like, come here. It's ready. Go.
Fuck.
I mean, that's it. Fuck.
I now know the Hungarian word for fuck.
Yeah, exactly. For fuck.
I got something out of this film.
Yeah. And there are a couple of events. It's really not like it's not just eating potatoes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the potatoes, all just potatoes. I did kind of want, I mean, clearly they're starving because you cannot live on 2 potatoes a day. And there's one time when he's going to go out and drive the cab, and he doesn't even have breakfast. So that would mean he persists on half potato per day. That's impossible. You're dead in a couple of weeks.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, talk about grim. There's brandy. There is brandy.
Yeah.
Neighbor comes in to buy some brandy. He's not very charming or cheerful. He kind of rants on about how the city's in ruins and how the I forgot how
everything
he
is
put
debased. Everything is debased and seized by the powerful. It's again it's the apocalypse of St. John. I don't know what she's reading when she reads that book. I don't know exactly what she's reading, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, but it's very much, it has that whole vibe to it. Like,
so I think it's the anti-Bible. I had read somewhere that it is like an anti-Bible of some kind. Maybe there is such a thing in Hungary, and the Romani show up and they're menacing.
Not terribly. They seem to be just.
True. They aren't there. They aren't terribly, but they do. It's like a bad omen or something. The Romani came and they drank from the well.
Yeah,
I know.
And then they're laughing. And at least they're having fun. And then they're like, bye, have a nice day.
No, bye, drop dead. Like
yeah.
It's really, they're not particularly nice, but they're not threatening violence.
Yeah,
it's very, and then things get a little supernatural, but not in an entertaining way. And
and not in an enlightening way, and not in a particularly comprehensible way. And I'm just like, okay, guys, really? I mean, I like intellectual puzzles as much as the next guy, but anyway, I didn't dig it at all.
It's a beautifully shot film that will leave you wondering why. Why?
It's okay,
I guess.
I mean, when you say beautifully shot, I mean, compared to like Lawrence of Arabia, I mean,
but that Lawrence of Arabia, one of the beautiful things, of course, is you're dealing with these huge landscapes, and there's just, it's right. Everything is exceedingly grim. I think the opening shot with the horse is horrifying, but really good. Really well shot.
Really, I mean, everybody loves that shot, and it is a good shot. And it's a great shot because the camera, and I guess that's sort of Bella's thing, is that the camera sort of orbits around and then it comes back. He's constantly moving the camera, so you're getting this sort of panoramic view, this 3-dimensional view of the scene, which is cool. And I like that. I thought it was interesting. But 2.5 hours of this? I mean,
3/4 hours.
Yeah, it's just like, no. As I said, when you're watching a movie, when the thought enters your head that, Stalker is like Die Hard compared to this movie, you're in trouble at that point. But I made some notes.
Yes, go.
Which are, so one thing I found fascinating, both of Tarkovsky films and both the Béla Tarr films, all of them have kitchen scenes. The kitchen plays a central role in all 4 of the films.
Wait. Yes. Okay. So in Solaris, there is
in the beginning, the beginning and the end
scene in the beginning.
Yeah,
and
when they're in the cat,
right. So that is like the hearth is important in both directors' minds. That's true.
Yeah, in all 4 of these films, it's really interesting. There's a lot about the ritual of the kitchen, of getting dressed, of getting up in the morning, like this real focus on the daily tasks. Thought it was interesting. And what I also noticed too is that in I made a whole bunch of things about Werckmeister. The long walk, there's a scene where Janos and Uncle Esther are walking down the street, and he's got that lunch pail, the triple decker lunch pail that's being carried by Janos, and you hear it clanking as well. I was like, Dude, if you are not completely ripping off the rail car ride from Stalker, then
Interesting.
you should be.
No, I
Because
thought the same thing when I watched that walk, but I didn't really think that he would be directly. Yes, of course, it follows Stalker. It's after. It's filmed after Stalker. That's interesting.
yeah, and it's just
That
it's the
yeah,
same shot. It's exactly the same shot. There's this sound, there's this mechanical sound, you know, the pail clanking as Janusz
and the
walks along.
expressions are changing,
Right, on
and
their
you see,
faces. And you see them in profile from the
yeah.
left-hand side. You're viewing them from the
And
left-hand side.
what
It's
is
really
the younger man's name?
Janusz.
The fool Yamish.
Janusz.
Yamish is
Yeah, what?
a great actor, and I thought really well acted. I didn't know precisely what we were to make of him, but you had more notes. We can come back to him. I think
Um,
Werckmeister is more interesting in a lot of ways.
it is. It is. Um, um, Also, the thing that I really, one thing I do like about Béla Tarr is that this whole idea of rotating the camera through the scene. And
Hmm.
then also something that Tarkovsky did is revealing different parts of the scene. Like you're in this room and you think you know this room, and
Right.
then the camera moves and you see it from another direction. All of a sudden you see like a poster that you never saw before, or you see something going on in another part of the room. It's really clever. It's interesting how they're both similar that way, how they reveal, like I told you about the bookcases in Stalker. You know, you see the
That's right.
bedroom in the beginning, and then you see something at the end. It's like, where all those bookcases come from? It's like, oh, we're in the bedroom. It's just a part of the bedroom I never saw before.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
um, um, like Stalker, with Werckmeister, the importance of sound. There is a heavy background hum throughout the entirety of Werckmeister,
Oh, interesting.
like a industrial thrum, like just noise, like microphone noise, but very low pass filtered, a rumble that's going on all the time throughout the entire
Oh,
film,
wow.
which I thought was kind of interesting and certainly a lot better than the wind sample that they used on Turin Horse. But yeah, there's this real obsession with the background noise, with the ambient noise, with the actual texture
Yes.
of the noise. It's never really silent. It's never really until the credits roll. There's no silence. The I'm also, as I mentioned, like the kitchen rituals, the kitchen traditions, the weird three part lunch pail, Umberto
Hmm.
D, where she's killing the ants by lighting a newspaper.
Yeah.
You know, all these.
Waving it.
I wonder if they're folkways. I wonder if they're treated that way, or is that just the way people do things in that part of the world, or is it
What
something that's
it could be
considered?
something they saw their mother do, or a
Yeah,
relative, and it just reminded them
yeah,
something about the hearth, his home, his mom, is something like that.
yeah. It's just the interesting thing, and then I thought the perfect guy to play Werckmeister. I mean, what I thought, yeah, he's a good actor. I really like the guy who played
Really
him,
good.
but I was
Yeah.
thinking, what if Klaus Kinski was in that role? Because he had a
Yeah.
little bit of that Klaus vibe, except he wasn't ranting, and you didn't feel like he was going to assault you any moment.
Well,
Um,
Klaus would have been too old. I mean, it definitely needs to be.
oh no,
I
I
guess
mean,
it's the young fool, but I also didn't really get the sense that he was a fool. Like, I think he just was a really compassionate person in a really cold place. And that was my sense of him. Was not that he was an idiot.
no, he wasn't an idiot, but he spoke
No.
oddly. I think he was speaking in a stilted way, but I don't know. And then to me, Stalker and Werckmeister were so close to each other. The idea
Yeah.
of this wholly central character, this central character who's more sort of, uh, you know, more of a thinker and a meditator, and somebody who ponders, who's much more spiritual,
Hmm.
in both things. The burning car. There's a shot where there is a car that's been burnt out in both movies where they shoot. They're both post-apocalyptic, and there's a lot. It's like Petrushka and Rite of Spring. They're incredibly similar to movies, and you can't imagine two more different films. To me, Stalker was gorgeous, and really, really life affirming. And Werckmeister was not that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it was in some ways, the inexplicable is there. The town seems to be on edge, and the circus comes, and everybody loses their minds. Not in the way that you want, right? I mean, the whole town riots because the circus came, and because part of the circus is a dead whale. They've trucked in a dead whale, which is supposed to be symbolic of something, but I'm not really sure it achieves that. When you park a dead whale in the middle of the movie, it should mean something, and I'm not sure that it does. That was the thing that I found kind of awkward about the film. Did you have any thoughts about that? Or, because we do circle around it a lot, and we look in the eye, and the eye is clearly fake, and I don't know if we're supposed to think it's fake, and it does look kind of patched together.
But the problem is, as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, you gotta get the audience to follow you.
Yeah.
They gotta follow. You can't leave them in the dust. And I think, it very well may be that it's lost in translation.
It may mean a lot more in Hungarian. We should talk to Balázs about these two films at some point and see if he has anything else that he can, a light that he can shed on it.
Did he grow up in Hungary?
If he's watched. Yeah, he goes back. I mean, his dad's there.
Yeah, let's get him on here because, I don't want to be mean to Béla. If it may be, this is obviously a commentary on the 1956 uprising in Budapest. It's like, okay. Oh, yeah, the whale is the Soviet state. Yeah, duh.
Right.
Okay, sorry, my bad. Maybe they should.
Right, didn't you notice?
Did you notice the whale is the Hungarian Communist Party under so-and-so in 1956? No, I kind of missed that one.
Well, interesting. I mean, Hungary is a small country, and Budapest is a small city. And so I said, "What do you think of the guy who was elected? Do you remember his name? I knew for a week, and then I forgot.
Magyar. Or Magyar.
What do you think of? What's that?
I think it's pronounced Magyar for some reason. I mean, Magyar. Hungarians really, it's spelled Magyar, but I think it's actually pronounced Magyar. I don't know, but it's whatever. Who cares? Yeah, Magyar is the guy's name, anglicized.
I asked him about that, and he says, "Oh yeah, he's very religious and he's kind of conservative. He's my cousin's husband."
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
I'm like, "Oh really? Isn't that strange?" He goes, "No, Budapest is a really small city. Like everybody knows everybody."
Yeah.
So he could easily help us to understand kind of where Tarr is coming from.
I think it'd be wonderful. I really would like to. I'd like to understand because I don't. It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the president of Mattel. I don't get it. I'll raise my hand. I'll be the first to say I don't get this at all.
Well, but on the other hand, it's a movie and it's out there, and we're entitled to have a reaction to it, right? I mean, lots of people love Solaris; they think Solaris is amazing. I didn't think it was. I really thought it was trash. I'm sure there are people who can point out why it's not, but I would still have a lot of problems with the shots in it, like just things they didn't think about. They didn't, basically think of the audience. And maybe that's a question of politics and time and culture. I don't know. In this case, I know that I definitely found Werckmeister Harmonies more watchable than the Turin Horse. Turin Horse was truly
interminable,
a chore. It was
because nothing ever changes.
Hard. There's
nothing changes,
which is the point of the film. I get that. But here we are, imagine you're in a darkened theater for the whole time. it's what A.O. Scott says, right? It's a relief when it's over, and
Yeah.
and then whatever else. That's a good thing. I don't know if that's a good thing. But Werckmeister is definitely trying to say something more complex.
Well, it's got a book behind it.
Yeah,
which I think
right.
helps a little bit.
True. It's no, the story is not by Béla Tarr, so you can kind of tell. But then the thing that I just couldn't follow in Werckmeister Harmonies was all the rantings of all the people. I kind of definitely got the same kind of thing. Everything's debased. People are stealing. You can't trust people. There's sort of, I think there was the professor character was talking about kind of the holy harmonies or the divine harmonies of sound and different intervals of sound. Yeah. And yes, a fallen world, right? And this might all just be very religious.
Yeah. Speaking of
but
which,
after a while, I just couldn't follow it. Like it droned, and I was reading, right? I was reading the subtitles. It droned on in my mind in this way that was like, I'm just going to listen to them talk. I can't read this dialogue anymore and enjoy the film. Go ahead.
Well, an interesting thing, sort of like the fallen world, because if you take a look, if you read Roadside Picnic, okay, which is the book that Stalker's based on, and you look at Stalker, and well, let's just take the two books, Solaris and Roadside Picnic. To a certain degree, they're about the exact same thing, which is that, what do you mean you're going to talk to aliens? You're not going to be talking to, trust me, you're not going to be having a tete-a-tete with the aliens. They're going to be incomprehensible. If they don't just wipe you out to begin with, some people's, so I thought about this. It's very interesting, and it's sort of a basic question, which is, how would an alien encounter go? We have many things that you and I can cite for that. 2001, Space Odyssey. Right. Benevolent. Starship Troopers, not so benevolent. Malevolent, benevolent, Star Trek, Babylon Alien, 6, Alien, all over the place.
Babylon 5 is actually kind of interesting, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Right. But it's aliens and communicating, but it's more, but it's not really, it's just people dressed up as aliens, but it's not really about alien contact, communication with aliens, arrival, interesting take.
Very fascinating. Yeah.
Contact with aliens, stuff like that. Stanislaw Lem and the Straczynski brothers are not on that spectrum at all.
Right.
What they're saying is there is no conversation with aliens. It's incomprehensible. And
it will drive you insane, is that idea. Is it? Yeah. Which is sort of the theme of Werckmeister also. This all happens and the main character goes crazy. Even though there are no aliens, the aliens are just the circus. The circus comes to town, the town goes mad, the main character loses his mind.
Right. And so with Roadside Picnic, where the title comes from is somebody's, there's this thing called the zone. In fact, there's several zones in Roadside Picnic. There's like 5 of them all throughout the world. And everybody thinks that they are, and they're filled with artifacts. They're filled with inexplicable technological artifacts that are soon to be from aliens. And stalkers make money by escorting people into the zone and also stealing artifacts from the zone and fencing them through the bartender. It's interesting. It's interesting to read at least the summary of the plot of the book, because Tarkovsky took a lot more than he gives credit for the book. There's a lot of the book in the movie, but the point I'm trying to make is that at some point they talk to this one guy, this very learned academician, about what it all means, and he says, think of a roadside picnic. He said, you're driving your car with your friends and you decide to pull over by the side of the road. You're gonna have a picnic, by the side of the road, and when you're done, there's some cigarette butts and there's some empty bottles and there's some cans lying around. What are the ants going to make of that? And what are the birds going to make of all this stuff lying around? Like, what meaning will they deduce from these artifacts?
Mm.
And it's the clearest example of what these guys like Stanislaw Lem and Straczynski are thinking, which is that communication is impossible. And beyond that, I think a lot of it has to do, and I think this is behind all these movies and something that's really a unifying factor. It's about God, but it's Soviet Union, so you can't talk about God. And it's very interesting to read that afterwards by the Straczynski, one of the Straczynski brothers, who gives you this diary about how they had to deal with the censors for like a decade.
Right.
And any whiff of Jesus or God or prayer or worship, and man, you are in deep trouble with the censors. They do not like that. So how do you talk about God without talking about God? And I think part of that might be what a lot of this is about, is the God has, God is not talking to us anymore. Like, and maybe God is incomprehensible.
Right. Definitely we get that in Stalker, because we that central figure, the stalker, the shepherd, is leading you through a very incomprehensible landscape,
mm-hmm.
and guiding you through it.
But he seems plugged in. He seems plugged, like he seems to be in contact with God. But the other two are not.
I mean, in fact, it got very religious at one point. I'm not sure how it got by I think there was some kind of problem with the Soviet censors on this, and that it had to be. They may have cut a lot of the scenes that we were able to see now. I know a lot of the deleted scenes have been put back into Solaris and Stalker. That's actually something we forgot to mention in the last podcast.
Oh, but okay.
We're seeing the longer version than the one that was released. Not so with Turin Horse.
No, because I think that was after the fall of the wall.
Yeah.
And Hungary is always a little more liberal than, the yoke didn't rest so heavily upon Hungary as it did on some other countries. But I think part of it, I think religion plays a big part in Eastern Europe, I guess, because I think a lot of this really, end times, there's a lot of biblical references, a lot of references to extraterrestrials. And I think the extraterrestrials might be a bit of a stand-in for God. Like, where have you gone? And why are you not talking to us?
Right. You're going to hate this, but this is actually why I'm fascinated with the treatment of the same themes even more directly in the show Stargate, because Stargate is about theism. The central theme is not really about aliens. It's about how human beings deal with deities, and especially season 10, and then the movie The Ark of Truth. Now, everything's corny, and it's camp, and they're joking, and it's camp, and they're laughing at themselves while they're doing it, and there are all these internal jokes and all that stuff. But that actually, to my mind, that makes it better, because when you're dealing with those topics, it can just get so plodding and heavy-handed. And they managed to do it with humor, and by making these alien beings the gods that have been worshipped. Now, in some ways, it's just very simplistic too. So I think that Tarkovsky is dealing with it on a deeper level, more successfully in Stalker than in Solaris. And clearly Tarr is struggling with the same themes. But I think that's interesting that religion has been left out of these two Soviet countries. And yet these movies really do focus heavily on apocalypse.
Well, Tarkovsky mentioned, he says the relationship between religion and art. And I can see, and the way he puts it out there is pretty good. It's a pretty convincing argument, which is, as we talked about with Stalker, he takes nothing. You look at a scene and you get all excited about the scene, and then you realize it's three guys walking through a field. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way about
that's
this
what makes
scene?
it great.
And that's what makes it great, because he can create, he can do that thing. Yeah, so I thought that's it for my notes. I thought it was fascinating that, you have these, a Russian guy and a Polish guy writing science fiction in the 70s and 80s, talking about basically the same thing, which is that, the aliens are not going to kill us, and we're not going to kill them.
Not a Polish guy, Hungarian guy, right? Isn't Tarr
No,
Hungarian?
I'm talking the writers. I'm talking about the writers.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Straczynski and Lem. I'm talking about the authors of the two books, and they're basically writing the same book, and they're writing a book that's really not written in the Western science fiction tradition. They're writing a book,
not the same way.
It's not like they're gonna, we have to fight them, or they love us, or they hate us. It's like they don't even know we're here. Yeah. Or they're there, but we can't talk to each other at all. We can only communicate in like the weirdest possible ways. Like Solaris communicates with you by recreating dead people from your memories and reanimating them. And walking them around. It's like, okay, what does that mean? So there's this sort of inscrutability, incomprehensibility about talking with aliens, but I think it's about, where's God? And especially in a state that says you can't talk to God. You have a state,
and how you deal with people who have passed. I mean, how the reaction of even the sort of strongest willed people when confronted with the regrets they have from their past. Mm-hmm. And that part was deep. I'm saying the execution in Solaris was terrible, but the actual, the possibility for a great story was there.
Yep.
And I don't remember the George Clooney remake, so
I never saw it.
I think I watched it, but maybe I'll watch that again at some point. Unfortunately, and you're going to hate me again, the thing, and there's no way to watch all of it, but the thing to actually compare this to in the United States is not any of these other movies. It's J. Michael's Straczynski, his story Babylon 5. He's the one who really tackles these. And of course, the problem was he had no budget, and everything looks like crap, and all the costumes look glued on. And some of the writing in the beginning is it steps literally out of the Soviet Union. I don't know whether he's like from the Soviet Union. I think he might be from an Eastern Bloc country, but it definitely it carries over that same feel. But the themes, as you watch the show throughout the different seasons, get deeper and deeper and deeper. And I think he's kind of trying to struggle with the same ideas. There's no way you're going to, anyway, it made me think these two sets of movies actually reminded me of that very difficult to watch series, which just for the writing, and not always the dialogue writing, but definitely for the story writing, was interesting. Anyway.
Well, I think we gave it the college try.
Whatever that means.
We put in the hours. We did our due diligence.
That we gave our genuine
effort.
Yeah, and it might be what, Philistine, right? What unsophisticated.
We'll get Béla on here because maybe this is a perfect enlightenment moment for us. And he's like, "Oh, you idiots! Of course."
He might just school us completely, or he might say, "Oh no, I couldn't watch it. It's terrible."
Well, the interesting thing was that I was talking to Bob, and I know I probably shouldn't mention Bob's name at this point, but one of Bob's friends is, I don't know if I should be, well, I don't think it's really all that terribly private. One of his friends is, well, it doesn't matter if I don't use the second name. His friend is Ignat, but he's a fairly public character. Ignat Solzhenitsyn, the son of Alexander Solzhenitsyn. According to Bob, Ignat and his father used to go and watch the Tarkovsky films.
Oh, interesting.
And according to Bob, according to Ignat, what Alexander really liked was the movie Andrei Rublev. And that's the one we didn't watch. And that's the one I saw at Haverford. because they had it during the foreign, they had those films come in.
Difficult
and I remember
watching hour. Yeah.
I remember being kind of rocked by it. There's a couple of scenes in it that are really distressing. But a lot of people say that's about a famous Russian icon artist during, I think, the 1300s. So you got like Mongols in it. It's never good when you have to deal with Mongols in a movie.
No.
And it's, it's Russia in the 1300s, so it's not exactly like, concierge service, mints on the pillow. But it's the same in Europe too. It's medieval times, and I think it's very accurate to it. And a lot of people really refer to that. But again, a lot of people say that Turin Horse is a really great film. So.
Yeah, one of the greatest films ever made. Right? And it just, again, I wanted to see it that way.
Yeah, I did.
I wanted to see it that way, but it at some point you start to think,
wait, the emperor has no clothes. He's naked, right? Am I missing something here? The guy is naked. Yeah.
My feeling was more like, what did I do to him? Like, what was it he was so angry about that he made this for people to watch? It's really angry. I mean, it's a really angry piece.
Yeah, it is.
And this was it. This was his life's work. Like,
it was his last movie.
He made that, and he said,
"That's it.
No more. I've made the perfect film."
Well, I don't know if he said I made the perfect film, but he says, once I've made that film, there's no other films for me to make.
I guess I interpret that as being that he made the perfect film, but maybe it's not that.
I don't know.
Maybe it's something darker.
Maybe he did. Or maybe he's like, okay. I mean, can you imagine? Matt, hey, can we play it over again? Because I think I missed a couple. Yeah, let's watch that over again. Just make sure we got it. No, we're good. We're good. It's in the can. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Did you, at some point when the well runs dry, did you just think, oh, did you see it? Like, when did you see it coming? That it was just a downward spiral? Or did you see it from the first scene? At some point you kind of start realizing, oh, things are not going to get better.
Yeah, you sort of get the feeling. I don't know exactly what, but finally you step from the real world into the metaphorical world. You step into the world of the apocalypse, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a metaphor. We're in the allegorical world now. This is not a real thing. This is an allegory. And I thought maybe it had something to do with, beating the horses, beating nature, and the world is shutting down. You've abused nature for so long, and stuff like that. And I don't know if there's anything significant about the fact that, he can't use his right arm, and, did he have a stroke?
Right.
And I don't know. But after a while, you're like, why am I trying to figure? I just want to watch a movie, guys.
This is my evening. So the one interesting scene, even though it was kind of a distressing scene, is when they decide they've got to leave.
Mm-hmm.
They pack everything up, and of course, it's all one shot. And they pack everything up, and they put it on the cart, and then you follow the cart down the road, all the way down the road, and all the way up the hill. And then I swear there's like a minute and a half of just the tree at the top.
No, it's not a minute and a half, but there's a pause, and then they come back.
Yeah. And they come back.
And it's like, my brain is like, okay, why the F did you come back? Is everyone going to explain? No, I'm going to show you 5 minutes of them unpacking the cart that I just spent 5 minutes showing you them pack up. It's like, okay, dude, seriously.
Time out. Right, we need a conference. All right, catcher comes out to the mound.
Yeah.
You need to stop throwing that shit. That is garbage. That.
I'm starting to get like I'm getting like a stroke myself.
Oh yeah, no.
Anyway, I don't want to just beat on the guy and stuff like that. And maybe we are Philistines, but we've seen a lot of films together, and we've seen some challenging films.
This was the most challenging.
And this was
last night when you were like, I saw Werckmeister Harmonies. What do I have to look forward to at Turin Horse? And I said,
nothing.
I'm not telling you anything. You deserve all of this.
It's all your fault. I gave you my life. No, Okay, so what are we doing next? You pick this time. It's your call.
No, we have to watch all of Babylon 5. We'll be back in 2 years, and when we've finished, and then we can talk about it. There are books. So one of the things for our listener here, something not addressed. Lionel, for a second. If you want to support the podcast, you should go to Patreon. We have it linked on our website, which is funnynotfunny.bigego.com, funnynotfunny.bigego.com, or funnynotfunny.net. And there is a link to our Patreon. Once you get on the Patreon, you can also get on our Discord. I don't have an invite there, but I believe that once you're in Patreon, there are instructions. And there is a lively discussion slowly growing on Discord. People are listing books. And I think what, Lionel, you and I should do is maybe go through the list of books and see if there's something there that people have listed that we might want to read. You immediately hate this idea.
We have to listen to our listeners.
Oh,
this is not what I signed up for. Okay, yeah.
Well, I've suggested other things too. Like I find the book Christ Before Jesus really interesting. But we've also talked off the podcast, Lionel and I've kind of gone over these themes. And I think one of the things that we might find as fruitless as politics are the kind of biblical criticism and kind of deconstruction of religion books that I've kind of fallen into recently. That might not be a fruitful discussion. So at this point, I'm not really sure where we should go next.
Well, I owe you a solid. So if you say Christ Before Jesus, I'll read it. So pick whatever you want to. Don't hold back. Don't listen to me.
All right. Why don't we do that? Why don't we?
I owe you.
Why don't we at least try to talk about this book, Christ Before Jesus? The one of the authors' first name is Jaron, and I forget his last name. But just like my fascination with Ed Zitron, Jaron has been making the rounds, and people are talking to him more and more. And it really does focus on mythicism, which is the radical idea that none of these characters existed in the New Testament. And
you mean none of the characters in the New Testament existed?
Existed.
Okay.
Which is a tough one, but it has huge implications. And his methodology is unusual. He's a data scientist using stylometry. So I find that culturally challenging and interesting. And it does touch on some really touchy subjects.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's worth a look.
Well, I'll read it.
Okay.
Do we have another book? I mean, is there something sort of like in the same conceptual ballpark? Think about it.
We could read something in the opposition. But I have a feeling that
we read Dominion, right? We read Dominion, but Dominion.
We did, yeah.
But that was just a very long Wikipedia article about how great Christianity is.
I think that in opposition,
how great
the
Catholic Church is. Yeah,
we've actually already kind of experienced all of the other side. This is a unique. It's not mythicism has been around for a long time, but this is somebody kind of coming at it from a very different angle. It might just be the one book that we need to actually tackle here because we kind of know the other context that would. And then if we run out there, then I'll just tell you more about Stargate and Babylon 5, and you can roll your eyes and.
Really, Stargate. It's like the Golden Girls of science fiction.
It is.
But it's not.
It is.
No,
well, no,
it's
not.
What it is?
It's like
it has camp. It does have a certain self-referentiality, and it has a certain lightheartedness towards itself.
It is, oh shoot, what is that show? It's about a mother and a daughter, and they're running like, she's working in like an inn. Oh yeah. Anyway, somebody may chime in on Discord about this, but it's actually a really charming show. It's a show that I never thought I would. The Gilmore Girls. I never thought that I would actually enjoy, but my kids started watching it, and I was like, "Oh, what is this? I don't want to see this." Mother and daughter and a television sitcom. Like, actually, the dialogue's brilliant and it's really good. And that's it's that kind of a show, though. So it's not like, it's as far as you can get from The Expanse in terms of sci-fi.
Yeah, it's not concerned with feasibility or believability in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's super hand wavy. Like, oh, there's a wormhole. Great, jump in. We're going to Valhalla, people.
Oh well. Yeah. Okay. You want to land this plane?
That's we made it. I feel like
we've earned it.
Hurdle. We've earned it.
We've earned
it. Enjoy that malty beverage.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
Funny Not Funny is produced by Jim Infantino at Slab Media in Boston. Jim Infantino and Lionel Casson are the co-hosts. Our website is funnynotfunny.net. The theme music is from the song Wheel from the album Utopia Revisited by Jim. The opinions presented by the co-hosts are ridiculous and should not be taken seriously by anyone. Our intended audience is literally nobody. If you're listening to this podcast, you should probably pause to reflect on other choices you've recently made. Please do not subscribe or leave a rating or review. It only encourages us to make more. Thanks for listening.